Coping with Tre Tailor, giving you info and advice to help you thrive and survive in life, because we'll always be coping with something. Coping.
Today, we are coping with Christians listening to gospel music. We've got a full panel coming up next, and we'll talk about it on Coping with Tre Tailor. We'll be right back.
Computers, they're a part of our everyday life, but when they're not working, they're an everyday problem. So call Computers Unique, your everyday solution. 803-351-5821. Is your computer running slow? Won't turn on? Do you need a screen replaced? Or maybe you just need another computer? Well, Computers Unique is your one-stop shop for all your computer needs. They have a wide variety of new and pre-owned PCs, Macs, and tablets. So call Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. 803-351-5821. 803-351-5821.
Hi, I'm Judy Gatson. As a news anchor, wife, and mom, I know how important it is to take care of our health. Part of taking care of our health is knowing if you're at risk of type 2 diabetes. Prediabetes is a serious health condition and puts you at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. It's estimated that more than 1.3 million South Carolinians have it, and up to 90% have no idea. Take a moment to visit inittogethersc.org to take an online test to find out your risk of prediabetes and how to join a diabetes prevention program that takes the guesswork out of losing weight, eating better, and being more active. You can learn new ways to stay healthy and sustain those changes over time. When you join, you'll even get support from a trained lifestyle coach to help you set and achieve realistic goals. Go to inittogethersc.org, brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of South Carolina.
Hey there, I'm Tre Tailor. Thank you so much for joining us for Coping with Tre Tailor. We're giving you info and advice to help you thrive and survive in life, because we'll always be coping with something. Hey, don't forget, we're streaming live on the Tailor Made Production page on Facebook. That's the home of Coping with Tre Tailor. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow. Find out when we go live Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday from In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council, and also on Thursday and Friday. We're also streaming live on our YouTube channel. Please go over there and hit the subscribe button. You will find 3 years, count them, 3 years of information, interviews, and resources to help you cope with whatever you're coping with today. We also have a presence on Instagram and also on Twitter. Hey, don't forget, we've got the comment button there. If you have a question or a comment for my guests or myself, we would love to talk to you. Because today we're coping with Christians listening to secular music. The hot debate is not new, but has recently come back up in the news after Juanita Bynum posted this video. I think we've got the video. Do we, Charity? Okay, I guess not. We don't have the video, but if you have seen the video, it's of Juanita Bynum saying and preaching that it's no way that Christians should listen to secular music. She said that it isn't wholesome, it isn't right, and you ain't going to heaven if you listen to secular music. Well, this was followed by a video of her dancing to Mary J. Blige, which I don't know if you know, she is not a Christian artist. So it has already restarted the debate of yes or no. Should Christians listen to secular music? To talk about it, Regina Skeeters joined us. She is currently praise and worship leader at Bible Way Church of Atlas Road. Tiffany J., who actually sings both with her church choir and records and performs secular music. Also, Jamal Bates, who doesn't sing, but he does play music every single day on several radio stations throughout South Carolina. He's also a pastor of his church. And I think Algeron did join us. He is a chart-topping gospel singer and songwriter. Thank you all so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I want to ask each of you, why do you think this is such a big deal?
For me, I think we all have different definitions of what secular is.
Oh, wow.
I think that starts the biggest debate, is what does secular mean? Because for me, I don't think R&B music in general is just labeled secular.
Oh, wow.
So I think us getting on the same page of what secular actually means, then we could probably better answer, should Christians listen to secular music?
Wow, that's interesting, Tiffany, because I think, I mean, and I've been in radio most of my life as Jamal has. So I want to bring Jamal in here because Jamal, what do you think secular music is?
Man, that's a loaded question. Going back to what Tiffany just said, but I think we in the church we have deemed secular to be evil.
Mm.
We have deemed secular to be evil. That's when it comes to music. That's when it comes to anything outside of the church, anything outside of your religious bounds, anything secular is evil. You know what I'm saying? So the church worldwide, not just in any particular church, but the church body as a whole, we've built a foundation on secular is anything outside of God. Secular is anything that is not holy. Secular is anything that may keep you from God. Secular is anything that may take you away from your relationship with God. So I think as believers, we've made the word secular evil. So I agree with what Tiffany said.
Yeah. So to both of your points then, and Regina, I want to get you and Algeron in here. So just because an artist isn't singing about God doesn't mean necessarily that it's secular music. Algeron, you were shaking your head.
Well, I do agree. I mean, if you look at the definition, it is non-religious music. Non-religious music. Now, religion is so broad. We sometimes put religion with only speaking in tongues and shouting and the way we look at religion. But I agree, it's such a broad term because there are many different religions, right? And so when asked, should Christians, the term is it's non-religious music. That's just as far as it goes. It's non-religious music. It is not the devil's music. It is not, it's not that. It's just non-religious music. So whatever your religion is, you're not going to hear that in secular music. So I just feel like you have to choose to listen to what is good for you, what's good for your soul, what's good for your spirit, and not so much make it a enemy of the Christian faith.
Jared, let me get you in here, Regina. Is there any harm listening to secular music, whatever that people deem it to be? Because I think we've established it could or could not be secular based on your opinion or what your thoughts are.
Gotcha. I don't think that secular music is bad at all. Just to piggyback on what everybody else has said, secular music is music that is dedicated for a certain thing. Sacred music is, in the Christendom, I guess, is dedicated and set aside for religious beliefs, things that deal with Jesus, communion, just different things like that. And not to be super deep or spiritual, but there's a scripture that says the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Meaning everything that he created was good. Now, even as it relates to the beginning of the Bible, we know about Lucifer. Of course, Lucifer was a person who did worship towards God and did music and all that good stuff. But once it became a little perverted, he began to kind of get a little puffed up and he began to say, hey, shoot, I can be a rock star. I can be God. I can do that. It was good until it was perverted. So secular music is good. As I said before, the purpose of music is to simply set the atmosphere for what is needed. If you're newlyweds, on your evening of bliss, you're not going to play James Cleveland. Hush, Reverend Pastor. You're not going to play James Cleveland. You're not going to play Juanita Bynum's the lady, her lover, and her Lord. You're not going to play that. You're going to play music that simply sets the atmosphere for whatever it is that you need. Same thing with praise and worship. We deem worship music as music that's set aside to set the atmosphere, to prepare people's hearts and their minds for what's going to happen. Now, even as it relates to the secular music and gospel, secular and sacred. And I know I'm going to get in a whole lot of trouble for this, but there are some gospel artists that have secular hearts that put out sacred music. What do
Wow.
you do about what do you say about that? You know,
Wow.
at the end of the day, it's about your heart. Um, I know he pretty much sees a bunch of gospel artists that sing gospel music, but some of the hearts are corrupt. And then there are some people in the secular industry that are anointed to do what they do. There are some artists that I love that I listen to all the time. Some of them are anointed, sounding churchy again. Some of them are anointed in purpose to go into the secular arena and
That's right.
brag people. That's their job.
That's right.
So I think secular music has its place. Now, there are some secular music, guys, and I'm going to hush. There's some secular music that I cannot listen to until I'm married because I know myself.
Amen. Amen.
Pray for me, Tiffany. Pray for me. But I mean, yeah, there's some stuff. I love music. I love jazz. I love all different types of music. But there's some stuff that I can't listen to due to my convictions.
Yeah, that's good. That kind of goes back to what Algeron said. And I was thinking when he said that, exactly what you said, Regina. I think that it just depends on where you are in your walk. Certain things are going to affect you differently than it may affect somebody else because that person may not be convicted in that way. I'm Tre Tailor. You're watching Coping with Tre Tailor. We are talking about gospel music and secular music, and should Christians only listen to secular music? Regina Skeeters joins us along with Tiffany J, Pastor Jamal Bates, and Algeron Wright. We are talking about this based on the Juanita Bynum post that, was several years ago now, but her recent, I guess, change of heart, maybe, has brought this subject back up. I think we do have that clip now. Do we, Charity?
And your neck. I want to know what Bishop told you that you can still be saved and listen to secular music. Who told you that? No, come on, hit it. Hit it, Unica. Who told y'all that? Who told y'all that the church is supposed to be this? Who told y'all that it's okay if we just jam? Who told you that you can do this and then sing in the choir, then sing on the praise team? I'm not hearing y'all talk to me. Then you do this and pick up a mic and want to prophesy. You can't prophesy when you just got to dancing to the devil's music. Turn it on. Because that's what's in some of y'all cars right now. But I hear the Lord saying, clean it up. It's time to clean the church.
All right. So,
and Tre, I just want to say for the record real quick, me and Algeron went to have lunch recently, and that was in his car. Want to put it out there.
You said, wait, you said what?
What did you say? Go get him.
That music
what did he say? I missed that.
You wouldn't have lunch.
He said that you and he went to lunch recently, and that song was in your car.
Probably.
Algeron, listen. Let me ask you that: Did he refuse to eat lunch with you though?
Did not. Was right there. Was right, bopping his head all the way. Bopping his head.
Right. Algeron, my brother. That's my guy, man.
Oh Lord, have mercy. We want to say hi to Sierra Wilder, who is watching. Also, Trinita Glover. Trinita says that yes, it's good. She said, music changes the atmosphere. She said she says this all the time. Thank you all so much for watching Coping with Tre Tailor. Please post and share so we can get the message to the masses, because this is such a hot conversation. So Tiffany, Regina said you can't sing and then sing in the choir. Well, some nights you are singing.
I am, and I'm doing it proudly as well. The thing about it is, like, everyone was saying earlier, you have to know thyself. Right. And I guess getting back to if secular music is what is evil or what we can't listen to, for me, as somebody that deals with youth often, I might not listen to secular music to enjoy it, but I might listen to it to be informed, to know what they are actually listening to. You can't really always reach where you're trying to reach without being relatable or without being informed, or we'll be lost. And we can't reach the lost generation if they're doing their own thing in seclusion, and we are just in our own circle. So, but yeah, I proudly am praise and worship leader at New Dimensions Church every Sunday, and I deem myself as a soul R&B artist as well. So I don't feel like I create secular music because I'm a spiritual being, and God is through me, and what I write, I believe that God's presence is still in my R&B music. So I think it's a knowing yourself and what limitations you might need to have. I understand Regina's point, though. Some things you might not want to listen to if it's gonna take you where you don't need to go right now.
but I do listen to secular music though. I enjoy jazz. I enjoy a 60s psychedelic rock. I enjoy.
Yeah, you listen. You listen to it.
I'm talking about that secular music that you don't want to listen to before you're married. That's where I was.
Oh yeah, I can't. Yeah,
so, Algeron, were you in Gina's class?
You listen to it, Regina. We've shared the stage and sung it together.
Actually,
I don't even try.
I ain't telling on it, but we're sharing the stage tomorrow as well, singing.
That's right.
Secular music.
Right. That's right. You guys are doing a tribute to Gladys Knight at Women's Empowerment. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm super excited about that. But I know I can't listen to Tank. I love Tank. Tank is gonna take me there.
Look at Regina.
I can listen to other artists, but I can't take Tank. He's amazing. But yeah, I agree with what Tiffany's saying. You have to stay relevant, even as it relates to dealing with the youth. And I have a performing arts camp in the summertime, and we teach kids classical music, jazz. We teach them about Whitney Houston, Janet Jackson. I mean, we just try to open up different worlds to them and present something other than gospel music. Don't stone me, because to me, it makes them more well-rounded as an artist. I feel I do sing gospel music and I also sing inspirational music, and I'm excited about gracing the stage with Tiffany J and all the great people tomorrow. But I feel that had it not been for my classical roots, had it not been for my aunt sitting me down and letting me listen to country music or other artists, I don't feel that I'd be able to be doing what I'm doing now had it not been for my parents, my family making me more well-rounded, if you will. So it has its place and it helps a great deal.
Yeah,
I'm actually glad you brought up classical, because people keep putting secular music with R&B, hip hop, rap, but I said secular music is typically non-religious lyrics. So that's Latin music, that's classical music. That's country music. And I think it's a little unfair to preach on not listening to secular music, because what you're saying is don't listen to Beethoven.
Right.
Don't listen to country music. Don't listen to Latin music. Don't listen to jazz.
That's right.
Secular music is not just Tank. It's not just Drake. It's not just those individuals. But when you're uninformed, growing up in church, you think secular music is just R&B. So when you stand up and preach that, you're not just preaching to a group of music. You're preaching to every other type of music that is not gospel music.
That's right.
That's what you're preaching to.
Yeah.
My follow-up to that would be, where do we take the limit of secular off? Because we focus a lot on secular music, but what about secular everything else? I know so many Christians will watch, for instance, the Dahmer series on Netflix. That's evil by itself, depending on how you look at it. So where is it okay? Is it just the music that's tainting us, or is it indulging ourselves in the news? Because it's a lot that's going on in the news that's not sacred.
Yeah,
and I was going to mention that as well, Trey. Again, secular is such a broad word. And a lot of times, especially in the Black church, we only make it pertain to music.
The
You know,
blues.
there are a lot of people who work on secular jobs. You know, there are a lot of people who have secular friends. There are a lot of people who go to secular places in their everyday life. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think Regina or Tiffany mentioned this earlier, and I'm glad they hit on it. I was going to hit on it as well. I think it all comes down to your personal convictions.
That's right.
And the Bible talks about, basically, we also have to make sure that what we do and what we listen to and what we do, we don't make our brother stumble or our sister stumble. You know what I'm saying? So again, it comes down to your personal conviction. If you know, like Regina says, she knows if she puts on Tank right now, it's going to take her to another dimension. You know what I'm saying? If I were to pull up Tank on my phone right now, it's going to take her out of here. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be aware. I mean, or back in the car with Algeron, and I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
But I think it all boils down to your personal convictions. And if you know a thing will take you away from your relationship with God, then don't do it. I know for me, there are certain people I can't follow on social media because I know if I follow that certain person on social media, like Regina said, I'm gone. My mind is gone. I'm in their DMs like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Who's that? Who's Kiara Shear? But again, it comes down to their personal conviction. So I just want to make that point.
There's no Kiara Shear anymore. Let me just say that. But I digress. So Jamal, I know you've got to leave in a couple of minutes, so I want to divert the conversation because I want to go back to the spirits thing. But because you've got to go, I want to talk about secular music and gospel music that is crossed over on both charts. I mean, we're talking about as early as Oh Happy Day to Jesus is Love to Shackles to It's Time by the Winans. I mean, the music has crossed over so much in radio. I mean, you are hard pressed now to even find any secular radio host or station that doesn't start their show with a gospel song.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get your opinion about that, Jamal, having worked in radio for some time.
Yeah, I don't, and my mind goes back to Bishop Marvin Sapp and his hit that pretty much took him to another level in ministry as well. Never would have made it, and we all seen a movie that recently came out on him, and even when that song first came out, I don't think his wife wrote that song to say, hey, this song can get us both on gospel charts and R&B charts. The song just so happened to speak to so many people in every area of life that it fit gospel, it fitted R&B, and it became one of his biggest songs ever, in his career. So I don't, as far as I know, and maybe Regina, Tiffany, and Algeron can help me out with this. I don't think artists sit down and say, hey, I need a song that I can cross over with. Maybe that is a thing. But there's just some songs who have that appeal. BB and CC Winans, their music. It has crossover appeal. Corinne Hawthorne, some of her songs has crossover appeal. There are some songs that we do have to ask, are they singing about God or are they singing about their lover? You know what I'm saying? But I don't think artists sit down and say, hey, let me write a song that have crossover appeal. And again, I may be wrong about that.
Yeah. Jamal Bates is a pastor in Columbia, South Carolina, and also a radio host in several radio stations in South Carolina. And he joined us today to talk about if Christians should listen to secular music. He's got to go and do his radio thing. But we thank you so much for joining us today, Jamal, and taking time out of your day. I appreciate you and so proud of you for everything you're doing.
Thank you, Trey. Thank y'all. Nice seeing my friends soon. Algeron, change your radio station, bro. Don't put that.
Oh, you beat me to it. I was about to tell you the same thing. You beat me to. You're quick.
Trey me. I'm quick on my feet.
So I wanted to, Maxine Moses says that any song can end up ministering to someone. She said, like Music Soul Child's song Love was written as a gospel song. She said he changed the word God was replaced with love so he would get played on the radio. Thank you, Maxine, for your comment. We also have another comment from Trinia Glover. Trinia says, you have to know where you are in your spiritual walk. We talked about this. She said, Regina said it best. When I am with my husband, I'm not listening to Near God to the Amazing Grace. Time and a place for everything. She says, I love, love, love ballads. I want to kind of piggyback on that, guys, because I wanted to ask, Is that okay for Christians to listen to non-gospel music, we'll call it? To your point, Algeron, when they're dating, when they're intimate with their mate, is there the right time for non-gospel music?
And I'm not married, but I'm thinking that marriage. I mean, marriage is again something that God made, and being able to be intimate with your mate within the bounds of marriage is what God has made. And I don't think that I think that's a great time to deal with songs that talk about love. And also, God is love. The Bible even says that God is love. And there's some gospel artists, again, don't stone me, no one. There's some gospel artists that I may not listen to.
Right.
Simply because it's just not my thing. But I think that love songs are great. Love songs have their place. So you guys can take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even with not being married, I think in order to fall in love, you need to hear something relatable. And I don't think every love song is necessarily a sexual song.
Right.
So I absolutely think it's okay to relate to music. I think that's the biggest thing. Music is that universal language that we all have in common. And when people put out, I think that's why songs blow up so big when they're relatable. Art imitates life, and the reason we are such in a I don't know the best word to say, but in such a trap. Ghetto is not the right word, but in such a place where nobody really cares about being in relationships. That's not the mind of society today, and the music that's out, that's popular, imitates that. So I think what's popular is actually how people are living and glorifying. So
well, there have been gospel artists like John P. Key comes to mind, and also who was it? Tina and was it Tina? No, Erica. Yeah, no, Tina and her husband.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, they did both. They did an album that was supposed to be Christian love music.
David and Tamla Man as well.
And David and Tamla Man, you're right. Yeah. We're talking about if Christians should listen to secular music. We are now calling it, based on what Algeron said, non-gospel music. Regina Skeeters joins us along with Algeron Wright and Tiffany J. Tiffany, you mentioned a little bit about spirits, and I want to talk about that. Are there spirits in music?
I think there are spirits in everything. It could be the spirit that was used to create the art. It could be a spirit that is birthed through the indulgence in the art. And it can be a spirit within the person listening to the art that might manifest in a way if you indulge yourself in this one thing repetitively. So I think there are good and evil spirits, and we just have to know thyself to make sure that we stay on the good side.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Algeron? Are spirits in music that could transfer to a Christian?
Absolutely, I agree. And as Tiffany was talking, I thought about, I don't know the state of mind of some of the classical artists. I'm sure there were, unfortunately, classical artists, other artists that have had the spirit or dealing with depression and may have committed suicide and those type things, And so it goes beyond hip hop and R&B. There are other secular artists that have been dealing with life that when they wrote the music, there was a spirit attached to them. They wrote the songs based on their experiences. They wrote the songs based on what they were either dealing with or coming through. And so I agree, it's the spirit of the person that is listening. It is the spirit of the person that created it. And it all goes together. There's a song by Ed Sheeran that is memorable to my family. I think it's Living Out Loud. I think it's the name of it. And that was a song that my brother sang to his wife. And now it's hard for my family to listen to because now he's wrestling with God. But it's a song that was special between he and his wife. And one of the last times he was with his wife was at my parents', and he sang it. It came on, and they wouldn't leave. They danced in the yard.
Oh,
So I dare not sit here and act like there isn't not just negative spirits out there, but there are also positive spirits where God put his stamp of approval on other non-gospel music. Why? Because it connects us. It makes us happy. It inspires us to do better. It inspires us to love one another. And that particular song, which is non-gospel, has a whole different meaning to my family and to my brother's widow, who's now remarried. But I look at that song different. I don't look at it as this is non-gospel.
Yeah, Algeron Wright joins us today. We are talking today about secular music and if Christians should listen to it. Regina, Skeeters, and Tiffany J also join us today. I'm Tre Tailor. You're watching Coping with Tre Tailor. As we wrap up the conversation, guys, I just want to get your overall view of what you think people should take from hearing people. And I don't want to, target Juanita Bynum specifically because there are other people who say Christians shouldn't listen to secular music. But I love that you said, Algeron, or somebody said, you've got to define what secular music is. So any closing thoughts, Regina?
Again, I think that secular music is a great thing. Secular music has the power to remind you, music, period. It has the power to remind you of fond memories, like Algeron has said. It can be like memories of cookouts, memories of just great things. I just think that you should be mindful, as Tiffany J has said, to thine own self be true. There are certain things there that you will be great for you to listen to, and there are certain things which you can't. Just like food, there are certain things that you can consume. And there are certain things that wouldn't be healthy for you to do so, but it just depends on the individual person.
Yeah, Tiff.
I think the church as a whole should make sure we continue or put more effort into building up not just our body and spiritual beings, but our minds as well, because the mind is where these things either lay and manifest into something good or bad. And once you know who you are, everybody isn't in a place where they can listen to a depressing song and not be depressed.
Yes.
So we want to make sure we encourage people to work on their minds and get to know yourself and know your limits and know your triggers. Just know yourself and what's good for you. And when you're on the outside looking in, mind your own business.
Algeron, final thoughts?
Second. Both of what you all said. Again, my prayer is that people, preachers, singers will use their platform responsibly and stop talking foolish gibberish, as the Bible talks about, that we will use our platforms responsibly and not just say things because there's an organ behind us, not just say things because we need a hoop, but really think about what it is we're saying. Why? Because there may be another video surfaced of you dancing for your birthday. And if it was bad then, it's bad now. Yeah. So let's think about what we're saying. I didn't say accept something that's not good for you. Again, to thine own self, Tiffany J, be true. However, be careful about what you preach to others, lest you find yourself needing grace and needing mercy and eating, as my mother says, I know this is a clean show, but crow, I think she used to call it eating crow. You have to go back. So you have to be careful. So that is my prayer, because it's making gospel, it's making the Christian world look like we are closed-minded, and God is too big for that.
Yeah. And it makes us look foolish sometimes too.
Yes, it does. It
makes us look when our humanness comes out, when our frailties come out, and they will. Algeron Wright is a chart-topping gospel singer. What you got coming up?
I am back in the studio working on a new single. I'm excited about that. We're going to wait until after the Christmas season to release it. Thank you. Got a few things coming up. And I was just promoted to HR director at Richland Library. I'm excited about that.
Congratulations, Algeron. So happy for all your success. Regina
you.
and Tiffany, both of you are praise and worship leaders at your respective churches. And tomorrow, you guys are going to do a tribute to the Empress of Soul, Gladys Knight.
Favorite.
Empowerment. Tell me what you're singing, Gina.
I'm going to sing.
Sing a little bit for us. Tiffany, I'm coming to you next.
Oh, no, y'all, you need to come out. No, it's a surprise.
Oh, no.
You got
it's a 20-minute set though, so
yeah, you got
20-minute journey.
Y'all doing it together?
Yes, Tiffany's gonna be putting it down, okay? And Kristen Jameson.
It's
gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a whole problem. You guys have got to come out. I don't want to
alliteration. All right, so since you won't tell us what we're gonna, what else do we have to look forward to, Gina? Your mom just released her single and it is blowing up. I was hoping she was gonna come in.
I'm still hanging out with the caregiver, but so my mom has released a single entitled "Been So Good." She's a face for dementia, where it shows people that you can still have a life after dementia. Also, we talk about music therapy, sacred and secular, that helps with the mind, that helps soothe the soul. We talk about that. You'll hear more about that. And gosh, what else is going on? Tonight I'll be at Friendship Baptist Church, and again tomorrow I'll be hanging out at the Women's Empowerment event. And it's just going to be an amazing time. And also, I like to give a big shout out to Pastor Daryl Jackson and the Bible Way Church of Atlas Road family. Enjoying myself there. I'm hanging out with the Worship and Arts Department. And I'm just living life, and I'm just enjoying life. Yeah.
Amen. And Tiffany J is everything. Just got her master's at a Full Sail. She's a singer. She is a graphic artist. She has characters, singograms. I don't know what you don't do, girl.
I don't dance. I do not dance. But I guess
even on Sunday when there's a good praise.
Well, I have rhythm, but I cannot learn choreography. I can't mimic a dance move. I have bomb rhythm. I can move, but I can't, dance. But as far as what I have coming up on the 30th of this month, we are having our 5th annual Buddies Not Bullies rally at the State House. And we do this in honor of Bullying Prevention Month. So that's one thing I have coming up very soon. So if you don't have anything to do, October 30th, 3 p.m., it is a Sunday at the State House. And this time it's a costume edition. So kids can come wear costumes. We're going to have candies and treats. But we are standing in awareness of bullying and being preventive about it.
Awesome. And then, of course, you've got your 2 characters that you're starting.
And Super Beauty will be there for that rally. So we're actually going to a school next Wednesday for National Stop Bullying Day. So we are relaunching. And you can only get that term if you watch P-Valley, and that's secular. So
a secular show.
But we are relaunching that brand. So I'm excited about that. We should have dolls back on the market by Christmas time. So
that'll be awesome. Tiffany J, Regina Skeeters, Algeron Wright, thank you all so much for joining us today. Thank you for sharing your heart and your spirit about this controversial subject. Tony G says, who many in the Carolinas know as a very prominent radio host, he says Puff Daddy, who's calling himself Love now, said music is magic.
It is.
Hey, y'all. Thank you.
It is something else.
Hey, Tony.
I have another conversation about Diddy for another day. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Good luck to you. God bless your endeavors. And thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trey. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So listen, If you have a story or initiative that could help someone cope, please email booking@copingwithtretailor.com. We would love to feature you on the show. If you have a product or service that could help someone cope, we would love for you to be a proud sponsor. Please email copingwithtretailor@gmail.com. You will join sponsors like In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council. They sponsor Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday here on Coping with Tre Tailor. Also, Javis Financial Services, Palmetto Media Connections, the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office, Attorney Byron Gibson, Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall, the Comet Bus System, Black Pages, Black Expo, and Agape Counseling and Training Services. We're going to leave you with a spiritual reading from Jesus Calling. Unless, Gina, do you want to add something? Gina's still backstage. Do you want to do a spiritual read? Thank you, Sierra. You want to sing us out? She's like, no. All right, so let me read this to you right quick, guys. It says, in order to hear my voice, you must release all of your worries in my care and trust to me everything that concerns you. This clears the way for you to seek my face unhindered. Let me free you from fear that is hiding deep inside you. Sit quietly in my presence, allowing my light to soak into you and drive out any darkness lodged into you. Accept each day just as it comes to you, remembering that I am sovereign in your life. Rejoice in this day that I have made, trusting that I am abundantly present in it. Instead of regretting or resenting the way things are, thank me in all circumstances. Trust me. Don't be fearful. Thank me and rest in my sovereignty. That's what Jesus is telling us today. This is your Jesus Calling for today, Friday, October 7th. I'm Tre Tailor. Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate you. Congratulations to Sierra. Congratulations to Barbara. Like I said, somebody from our team will be contacting you about your prize. Until the next time, I wish you peace, abundant blessings. Take care. God bless. Stay well. And if you are going to be out and about, especially in an enclosed place with a lot of people, COVID's still real, y'all. So please don't forget to wear your mask. But you got to wear it over your nose and under your chin. We'll see you later.
Coping, find peace of mind to survive through whatever. Coping, learning the way that we thrive all together. Coping, finding out what's real. We can heal, we can heal, we can heal. Coping with stress, coping with strife, bringing hope for success, for improving our life. Coping beyond hoping to do more than survive, ways to live a healthy life. Coping and promoting, learning what you can do, 6 ways to a better you.